everyone. I'm the co-maid of honor. My name is Michelle. This is Dana. Me and Marissa met. I'd like to start off telling the story of how me and Marissa met. It's kind of a memorable story. So it began in 5th grade. I was involved with a little rough little group of friends in 5th grade. But so one day I was in the bathroom, to be as vague as possible, I was trying to get rid of some incriminating evidence. And so I was ripping papers up, shoving them down toilets, shoving them down the trash can, what have you. I'm alone, obviously. Marissa comes into the bathroom, and I didn't know her at the time, so I'm assuming she's going to be like she's going to immediately go to the teachers and be like, hey, that girl's doing weird things in the bathroom. And but rather than, immediately go off like I expected, she instead was just kind of like, hey, what's going on over there? And I was just like, hey, I explained my situation, and she immediately she hopped right to it. She was shoving papers down toilets, she was just clogging all the toilets, eating them. She was shoving them in her mouth, trying to swallow them. She was putting more effort in than I really was. It is just the true testament of a good person, a good friend. But that's not my crowning story of this speech. That's not the point. So when me and Marissa became friends, our friendship really started growing and developing more towards middle school. The three of us, hence there being 2 maids of honors. It was always the 3 of us since 5th grade, really. Marissa introduced me to Dana. Marissa introduced me to my a new circle of friends, a new circle of true friends. I hadn't had real true friends until I had met Marissa. And, of course, amongst many other things, I am grateful for that. So the little friendship triangle we formed kind of bordered along unhealthy. It was we were very dependent on Marissa. Me and Dana, just 100% dependent on Marissa. Uncomfortable to pursue new life experiences. Uncomfortable.
She's our leader.
Yeah, our leader. Literally our leader. I wrote some figurative language to describe her role. I describe her as our Moses, our leader into unexplored territory, our paver of unpaved roads. So you can imagine how when Ethan stole her from us, just an entire little civilization just collapsed, just total disarray, just no idea what we were doing. Hey, what do you want to do today? I don't know, Marissa's not here. What do we do? What do we eat? Where do we go? We're lost. We don't know what to do. So obviously years into this adjustment period, me and Dana came out alive. It's been all right. And not only did we gain some independence, some life skills a little bit, having been on our own, we also gained a new lifelong friend in Ethan. And I think he just fits in incredibly well with our little group here. So like many young girls, me, Marissa, Dana used to speculate who's going to get married first, who's going to have kids first, who's going to make all these big life decisions, who's going to be the first one to explore the new territory. Of course, it's going to be Marissa. We naturally eliminated Dana from the running. She was. We were convinced she was asexual, like a plant. It wasn't until high school that we realized she was just highly selective, not vegetative. You're welcome. On the other hand, Dana being as selective as she was, me and Marissa were over here that was our obsession. We were just boy crazy in our youth. Um, but in two different ways. Me, it's like you come up to me, you say, "Hey," it's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, "Hey, how are you doing?" But Marissa, like, she has standards. She wasn't interested in the prepubescent elementary school boys. She was looking for high school and up. Like, she already had her mind made up. She had her decision made. She's like, "I'm better than this. I'm better than these elementary school boys." So I would like to say that she has no shortage of confidence in everything she does, truly, in all of her endeavors. It was a different story when Marissa met Ethan. It wasn't a boy crazy like lust. It wasn't a like, "Oh, he's hot. Let me meet him." Like, no, it wasn't like that. She was uncharacteristically shy about it. It was unusual. She's usually so like she's always joking. She's always making light of a situation. She's like, if it can be made light of, she will. So when she was reserved about speaking about Ethan, when she was you could tell kind of nervous, really, you could tell, she was in love. I had never seen that before. Ethan and Marissa, obviously, the very first serious relationship, so it was unusual to me, and that's just how I knew. Even though I didn't meet him until months later, when I did, I was a little taken aback, but not for reasons that you would expect. So I walked in to the annual pasta dinner hosted by Marissa's parents, and Ethan was present at this one. This is the first time I ever met him. I walked in and I was like, double took. I'm like, "Eminem." What happened to your career that you're eating Marissa's mom's spaghetti?
Oh my god.
Of course, my initial impression of Ethan, I'm sure as everybody else or most everybody else, was that he was incredibly polite, incredibly friendly, just incredibly warm. Just a really warm personality. You felt like you could tell him anything upon meeting him. Unfortunately, though, I didn't really get a chance to really acquaint myself with Ethan until he moved to Gainesville, where I had been living for the past year or so. Over time, I've gotten to know Ethan, especially during the planning of the wedding, in which he's been incredibly present and helpful for uncharacteristic of your typical groom.
I'm very patient.
Incredibly patient. It's just perfect. If I can be sure of something, it's that you found like a perfect forever home for yourself. I don't believe a better match exists, and it's how great of you to have realized that so early in your life, so you can spend just the most amount of time together. These two individuals, Ethan and Marissa, they're so rare. I don't come across people. Living in Gainesville, Florida, involved in the UF community, as I'm sure they can understand, that we don't come across a lot of people that are so devoted to their faith with that strong code of morals and ethics. You don't come across that often. So when you do, it's great that they both possess these characteristics and they're both able to express those in their words and actions every single day, towards each other, towards everybody else. They communicate well. They have a good little team going already. I firmly believe they're able to tackle any challenge that lies ahead. Marissa has found herself her own Marissa, like her Marissa to us, Ethan to her. And I could not wish you better. I see you guys acting as each other's guiding lights, as you were to us. You both each have your strengths that complement each other, and I'm so happy to see that. And I know you guys will guide each other, help each other, work as a team, and tackle the uncertainty that is the future, just the way you guided us through our very haphazard childhood. Am I talking too long? I'm sorry. I timed it at 6 minutes, but and even that's long. I will conclude. I love you guys. You mean everything to me. So happy.
Great job, Michelle. And now Dana.
Okay. I have like little bullet points. I'm very scared of that, so just bear with me. But so I'm Dana. I'm Marissa's other maid of honor, and we met in second grade. Well, we met. Our older brothers used to play baseball, and when we were like 3 or 4, we would hang out at the baseball games. We weren't that close of friends, but eventually, second grade, we get sat next to each other because our last names are I'm C-O-N, she's C-O-H. So we were next to each other. We ended up going to, I think I went to her house, and we just hit it off from then. We became best friends that day. And yeah, so that's how it really started, was second grade. We would play every day after school. I would go over her house. We lived in the same neighborhood. It was fun. We would skateboard outside, play on the bikes, that kind of thing. So we went through elementary school, middle school, all the changes, all high school, applying for college. Even through college, even though we didn't stay in the same place, we were still close. If we didn't talk, when we did talk, it just started right from where we left off. But so in high school, we joined this business academy, and well, Marissa wanted to, and I wanted to because Marissa was. So we did that. We had all the same classes together. We made some very close friends, like Jeff and James, Zach. Michelle was always there too. She was in a different program, but yeah, she's smart. But so yeah, then like 10th or 11th grade comes, and Marissa's on the swim team, and then she's also on, what was it? East Coast swim team, and she's telling me about this cute boy she met named Ethan, and she's like, I really like him, blah blah blah. Like a year or 2 go by, and then she calls me on the phone, and she's like, he asked me out. Just very excited, and I was like, I knew that was it. I was like, that's him, because they are perfect for each other. I knew he liked her, she loved him. It was like perfect. But so I'm just very glad that she found someone that supports her through everything. You guys share your faith together. You keep it in the relationship, which I think is great because a lot of people don't do that. It's very important, and I think that's great that you do that. You're both helping each other, like, move up in life. You support whatever you guys want to do, and you're just the perfect soulmates for each other, and we love you, and we're so happy to have you join us in our little group.
Everybody raise your glasses there to the bride and groom.
Hope you guys are having a blast today. Marissa, you look stunning. Ethan, you look very handsome. Just have a few things to say about this man, Ethan. This guy has been my swim mate, my best friend, and my prayer warrior for over 7 years. The first time I saw Ethan was when he was at swim practice. He was walking out of the Palm Bay pool, aquatics locker room, in a Speedo. Speedos weren't really popular back then, so he definitely stood out of the crowd. Over the years, he has grown stronger in his faith and his love for God. I remember meeting him in the middle of the week to have one-on-one discussions about the Word on our cool little iPod touches we had to connect to Starbucks Wi-Fi. These discussions will sometimes take up to a few hours, even though we promised each other it would take 10 minutes. He has matured way beyond his years. With this new adventure Marissa and him are about to enjoy, I know he will carry his godly, positive attitude into their marriage. I am glad that he has found a lifelong new friend. Not only a new friend, but a best friend. Someone that will share every single emotion and accomplishment with him, no matter how big or how small they are. Ethan, I know that you are marrying Marissa with agape love. Agape love that we've discussed for years and years and years. Love that God has shared for us, I know you will pass down to Marissa. I'm really excited that you have us all here to start your journey.
I've got a few words to say. As you all know, I'm a swim coach. If I get a little emotional, I'm the reason these two met, more or less. I've known Ethan since he was about 12 years old, 11 to 12. He showed up on my pool deck one day, and he wasn't really very good. No, he has to admit that because I still to this day use him as examples of what happens to somebody that's not really, really good, but if you have faith in that person, he gets better. He joined my team as a very raw swimmer. Again, not very good. I remember that meet that we did at Trinity Prep when you did the 500. I kept telling the other coaches, I don't know who would put him in that race. But that coach should be shot because Sammy, my daughter, was the one counting his laps, and it was like, do we really need to count his laps? I mean, and plus I fudged his time, so he was in about, 8 heats faster than he probably should have been. And I just remember standing next to a coach saying, what idiot would put him in that race and make up a time? But what I saw in Ethan was an investment. And as a swim coach, these kids know that it's not necessarily what I see that day. It's what they're going to be down the road. Over the years, the investment paid off. He made seniors, sectionals, and states, and became one of the best swimmers in the area during his high school career. And I tell my kids that I must be really good because, I remember going to meets when I coached Heritage and Ethan was on the team. We'd go to meets and the kids were like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't lap me. And I'm like, yeah, but he's just Ethan. What I missed most when Ethan moved to the UF was our talks. We just didn't talk about swimming. We talked about everything. A lot of times it's centered on swimming, but also life in general. He would always ask questions on how to get better, which kept me on my toes. To make sure I was always getting the most out of Ethan. We would always have conversations about upcoming Olympics or talk about the Pro Series meets that were coming up and who was better, Phelps or Lochte. He was a Phelps person, I was a Lochte person, so we would be talking on the phone, watching it on the computer, and then when Lochte would win, I would relish in that. And if Phelps won, I would just hang up. But what I admired most about Ethan is his focus, whether it was swimming, schoolwork, or Marissa. And I'll get to that in a minute. He would give it all to be the best he could be. I remember the times Ethan and East Coast swimmers, as well as swimmers from other teams like Mel, during thunderstorms, these boys would stand out in the parking lot and sing and dance in their Speedo briefs. As a coach, I'm very proud. I'm like, oh my God, I hope nobody notices this. They are on YouTube because swimmers have pointed them out to me in the last couple of weeks, that all this stuff is on YouTube. During breaks, due to the weather. So we're being kicked out of the pool for thunder and lightning, and we're in the parking lot next to metal cars while they're singing and dancing in their Speedo briefs. Problem was they were pretty good at it. And we were getting known around the area to the point swimmers from other teams would expect us to put on a show if there was a delay in the swim meets. They would stand out there with their phones or their cameras, and Coach Love, well, are they going to sing and dance? Give them a minute. Ethan's not out yet. Mel's coming. Got it. All right, we're good. They're doing it. I truly missed those times. They were a lot of fun. Then one summer day, this girl showed up, Marissa, asking to join our team. It was between her freshman and sophomore year. She had swam from Mile High her freshman year and wanted to get better. So, of course, she wanted to come with me and to make states by her senior year, which she did in 100 backstroke. She almost didn't come back. The swimmers know me, but some of you might not know that I'm a little cranky in the morning when we start morning practices if I haven't had a lot of coffee. So when Marissa showed up, I just barked, get in the lane, started swimming. She did. She got out. She wasn't going to come back. Ethan and Megan had to go talk her into coming back the next day in the parking lot. Then she realized it wasn't so bad. But she was a little intimidated, and she was certainly not going to come back until Megan and Ethan talked her into it. He's not such a bad guy. I have a lot of swimmers that go around and tell people he's really not that bad. He's okay. He's a little rough. He hasn't had enough coffee. From there, we had a good relationship. She was willing to work hard and do anything she needed to have a chance to go to states. That was the total goal from the moment she stepped on pool deck, was to get there. Of course, the first meet we ever did, I don't know if you remember it, was at the YCF meet where she was doing a 100-meter butterfly. And for the swimmers that know this, you don't really do a single-arm drill during the 100-meter butterfly. But on the second lap, she was doing one arm at a time because she was tired. I'm thinking, well, that's one way to do it. It's not necessarily the correct way to do it, but, that was her first race. She became a backstroker and an IMer, and I would love to say I knew that from the get-go. I didn't. One day we were at a meet in Clearwater. I needed her to do a race because I had to fill in something for that day. And she really couldn't do breaststroke at that point. So we put her in backstroke. And I'm watching her swim backstroke with another swimmer. I said, geez, she doesn't really suck. Maybe we'll work on backstroke a little bit. And that ended up being her best event, where she won districts, regionals. She went to states, finished top 16. Ethan and Marissa accomplished their goals through hard work and determination. As a coach, I couldn't be prouder. When you sent me to vacation, I thought I was just going to sit back there. I still remember the day they kind of asked me if they minded if they dated. Ethan came up to me after practice. It was like a Friday night. And they kind of, asked for my permission. I wonder what would have happened if I'd said no. But I kind of gave Ethan a hard time about it. But I knew they were seeing each other before they knew they were seeing each other, type of deal. As Ethan found out and Marissa on the years on the team, there wasn't much that the swimmers could do that I didn't already know about. But yeah, it was nice of them to come up and say, hey, do you mind if we date? Yeah, I do. You're going to mess up my practices, is what I should have said. But they started dating. We still had our talks. That didn't interfere because I said, listen, you can date, but, I was there first. So she comes in second, and I guess your friends came in third. And so forth. Let's see. What I'm most impressed with is the way they trained so much together. They had a lot in common. It just made sense. They were at practice all the time. At the meets, God, they were at every friggin' meet. In every practice. I had to be on my A game with those two all the time because they were just bombarding me with questions. How do I get better? And there were times I just want to say, I don't care. I haven't had coffee. Leave me alone. But in how they focused with not only their swimming but their schoolwork. They were very serious about that. Ethan was always, but they always seemed to make it work to where they could do their schoolwork and train. But doing all this together was only a natural byproduct of them saying, you know what, we're around each other all the time. Why don't we date? Made sense. It didn't totally interfere with my practices, so that was good. I got a small part on the second page if I can get to it. Like I said, I've had one shot. I probably could use 2 or 3 more. To end this, I couldn't be happier and prouder as a coach and a friend to not only see Ethan graduate from UF, knowing how much effort, time, and work he put in to accomplish that. And we talked a lot about that, where he was going to go, whether he was going to swim in college, what he wanted to do. He set his goals, and he made his goals. And surprise on me, Marissa wanted to go to UF. You know, it was a total shocker. Marissa and Ethan getting married. Let's see. How much time and effort, time to work accomplished that. But to see Marissa and Ethan get married and how much they truly love each other, I just hope I'm around long enough to coach the kids.
I met my Marissa when she was 2 years old for the first time. And she got in John in my heart back then, at that age, with that beautiful smile, her gentle, sweet manner. You're very lucky. You met your Ethan very, very early, your soulmate. I had to wait till I was 43 to meet mine. So that's true, Richard. You're right. So here it is. I showed your husband a picture when you were about 4 years old, and you came with your mom to the salon. It was a really well, because she had to wait for her grandma to be done with her hair, and she was antsy and a little bit weepy. You took her by the hand and you took her to the little area where you had books. You said, "Come, let me show you. Elka has these nice little books. We can read together." And as young as you were, you calmed her down. You nurtured back then, and you still do that. And we love you. Now, I have to read this because I'm getting too old. According to Corinthians, love bears all things, believes all things, endures all things, and love never ends. You both have found each other early in life. And that's a great gift. And may God bless you and give you much happiness. I love you.
So we went out the other night. There's been lots of good stories, but I'm not going to start telling them. But we asked Ethan, "Can you name 5 things about you?" And that was really easy for him to do. He named about 8. He said, "You're hilarious, sensitive, feisty, determined, stubborn, smart, beautiful, and shrewd." And then he was telling some stories about you. And I could tell you these stories that he was telling, there was little aspects of mom, a little aspects of dad. I'm like, that's totally mom. That's totally dad. But they were all good things because our parents raised us right. They raised us good. I'm so blessed to have a sister. I've had the fortunate of watching her grow up from when she came out till now, from a young girl to a young lady. And today she's finally moving on. Seeing the happiness between you and Ethan is amazing. To see how happy you guys are together, that is true love right here, people. This is true love. Hi, guys. I hope you guys have the greatest life together, because it will be till the end of time, and this is a testament how great it could be. I love you, Marissa. I love you, Ethan. Welcome to the family.